Okay, cool. So, hello everyone, and welcome to GameFi Paradigm. I am Mr. Ripper, and today we are here speaking with Kelly on the topic of gap data, mainly focusing on power buy. All right, buddy, it's all you.
It's all me, eh? All right, let's have a look at your screen here. Okay, so when you go to gap data, gapdata.racing/power-buy, you'll get to this screen, right? Is that the screen you get to? Hang on a second. Let me, which screen
Yeah,
is that one?
gapdata.racing slash
Okay,
power
that's
buy.
okay. Perfect. All right, so then you click on active race detail. So that top left, yeah, that one there. And so this is the tool I use always when I want to have a deeper dive into a horse, especially other people's horses, but also my own horses. It's really useful, obviously, when you're maybe going to buy or claim a horse. And I think it's also very useful when you're just learning what your brand new 2-year-olds, what distances they like to race. So that's the main two reasons why I would use this screen. So go ahead and put in a horse up top there.
Oh, perfect.
Let's
I was actually curious about one.
give,
So,
all right, let's have a look at you. Give me this. Let's have a look. All right, so is this horse still racing? It's a 2-year-old.
yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I will guide you through the top. Let's go through the overview first. So at the very top box.
Mm-hmm.
So this horse is an age 2. Move your
Oh, yeah.
cursor. You're blocking this. It's a grade S. Now the BRD, that you can kind of ignore that one.
Okay.
It's it's an internal um it's an internal feature to gap data there, and they grade what the match of the two parents were.
Mm-hmm.
But I generally just ignore that, so just skip by that.
Okay.
Um, if it's an A plus or an S, that means that they think that those that the parents were, and this offspring should be really good, but it doesn't take into account RNG. So I kind of ignore it. So I don't ever look at the BRD. All right, obviously, type RTF, so it's right turf. And then it's just showing you the preferences, 2, 2, 5, 1, 5. And then it's showing the average fleet figure, showing how much it's won. So that's the total winnings. But the column next to it, P&L, is much more important. So this horse just almost broke even. And then with the crown, and then the final P&L is on the far right. So it lost $2. So this horse has lost $2 in its first season. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you want to look at the horse, you just click those little links, and that will take you to photo finish. All right.
Oh,
So yeah, it's all right. That's just no worries. Just hit the back button or go. Yeah, it's fine. We can look at the horse on photo finish in a minute.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the next box down, not too important, that top XX percentage. It does give you some information. Based on that, I would say that your horse is an 11. You see how, so he's when you go down to the 19.3% underneath 11, you see, keep
Oh,
going
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, there. So it just means that your horse is in the 19th percentile of all horses that ran, in this kind of archetype. Um, so it's definitely not, it's I don't know it's not an amazing. You want that to be really low. So if
Mm-hmm.
you were like, 0.2%, like that means your horse is like some god tier horse at 11 furlong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just telling you based on that. Now you obviously need lots of data. The more data you have, the better that information is going to be. But it's just your ranking with other horses running in right turf at 11 furlongs. So based on that information, this horse does pretty good at 11 and pretty good at 12. All right. Then your next one over, your average time variance to global average heat map. I really like that. It's a quick way to see where your horse is good. Obviously, you want yellow boxes, so you do have one yellow box there. So now, did you ran this horse? Oh my God, you ran this horse only in maidens, and she finally
Mm-hmm.
she finally won a maiden after on her 10th try.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
He bought it. The guy that owns a horse, he bought it, and it already had raced like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, we've been racing at maidens like 4 or 5 times before she broke it. How do you
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
by that she's been running
No,
maidens
no,
on
on
there?
the well, you look at the far
Oh.
right bottom, it shows you the races, and it says maiden, 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 maiden. There's only 10 maidens. And you can only run in a maiden until you win one, right? Then you can't run in maidens no more. So that horse ran in 10 maidens, and it just won. It finally won its last maiden. So let's
Mm-hmm.
look at that. And so that's bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, in your very first maiden race, no one knows what their horse's distance is. So lots of times you'll win like if you're even close to if say 11, you don't know the horse's preferred distance. But this person guessed it pretty good, and it turns out 11 is probably the preferred distance. We can keep looking and researching that, um, but so there's a lot of times you'll win that first race, and then you kind of don't have any information because the competition you're racing against could be kind of crappy, but then because everyone's guessing at the very, very first race, right? But the second and third race, people have a little bit more information, especially your third race, because if they've ran it at two different distances, now they're getting closer and closer maybe to what each horse's preferred distance is, right? So you see this horse got fourth in the first maiden, and then it got eighth and eighth in the next two. So that's kind of a bad sign. Um, and then now after those first three races, all the horses that have won you're no longer going to be facing them, right? So this horse took 10 races to finally win a maiden. Well, how good is the competition after 10 horses? You understand?
Yeah.
It's not very good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like after each one of those races, the winner of that race who beat you can no longer race in that race. So uh yeah, so what it's great that the horse finally won a race, but for him that horse to be in 10 maidens and only win the very last, to win the last one, it's kind of bad. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that race record, I'd probably say probably kind of an average horse, if
Mm-hmm.
at best. Um, all right, let's go over back to the left side and look at that. So all the average time variance to global average heat map
Mm-hmm.
box. So you want yellow. Obviously, yellow is good. Um, if you get a yellow right off the bat, now I'm not going to go into I just use their formula. I've never tried to figure out what their formula is. Um, it's they've made a formula where they're comparing it to other horses, and it just means when you got a 2.93 in the yellow, it means you're way better than the average. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The higher the number, the better in this column. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can see so Um, you can look at the totals on both sides. So on the 11, like 9, 10 on the bottom, probably would have been a lot easier if I was sharing my screen for this.
Yeah, yeah, you can. You can. Here,
Yeah,
let's switch it
yeah.
over here.
Yeah, switch it over because it would be a lot easier if I could
Have
use
you shared
my
your screen
screen.
before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hang
Oh,
on a
okay.
second. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. So how did we do this last time?
You
I
have
can
to hit
do it.
the share your screen, and then in the
Yeah,
middle column it
yeah,
says
yeah.
screens.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Which maybe I screwed that up. Oh my goodness, what is going on?
Yeah,
Okay, hang on a
you have
second.
to click screens in the middle, and then select the one that your main screen.
Can you see it now?
No, I'm looking at your Discord, so you have to pick a different screen. Oh, yeah, you
Oh,
see
oh,
that?
oh, oh, sorry. You see it now?
No, no, no. Oh, there you go. Yeah, now I see it. Now I see it.
Okay, okay. How do we spell your horse's name? T
Uh,
A N N.
no, no. T A
What is
N
it?
A
Okay.
L O O
Yeah.
or LORR.
Okay. All right. Much better. All right. All right.
Uh,
So we're in the average time variance. We're in this box. Okay.
hmm
So um, now the one thing I would say. So I don't know when you said someone else had already raced it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, like yeah. They raced it like 3 or 4
So
times before us.
yeah. So the one thing I don't. The one thing I would say is I don't like is I think you should almost always try to race at least one race like maybe at 5, like in the beginning. Like I don't like so you ran him at a so if this was me pretending this was your horse and you had him from day 1, okay? If I run him at 11, right? So I'm down here at the bottom now, right? If
hmm
I run this horse at 11, he didn't win, right? He got a 71 fleet figure, but this is an S horse. But so that's actually okay in his first race. It's not too bad. A 71 is not too bad. And he got fourth out of 12. But I wouldn't race this horse necessarily like 10, 10, 12, 11. I would check him, you never know. Even if you think that, oh no, this horse, based on the parents, this horse isn't going to be good at 5, or is not going to be a sprinter. You should always check,
hmm
right? Because it happens all the time where, so I would always check. So if you're going to check the first race 11, I would then do an 8 and then I would do a 5. And then based on those 3 distances, then I try and narrow it down. And that's why I think claimers is so awesome nowadays, because any of your horses, which are kind of like, you don't want to spend a lot of money on, and then you can just put them in claimers and it's a lot cheaper. Because maidens used to be kind of the cheapest, but now claimers are the cheapest. And so you can put horses in claimers and you can put them in a decent amount, 1.2 or 1.6K, but it depends. If you really attach this horse, then maybe you just run them in maidens. But anyways, back up to average time variance. And why I'm just saying that is because you don't have a lot of information outside of 9, 10, 11, and 12. And you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe this horse is a stomper at 8. It's possible, right? Um, this horse, okay, so we have to talk about start, start, um, start, speed, stamina, and finish, right? This having an 11 here doesn't necessarily mean he has a really high finish. He could have a really high stamina. Um, he could have an average finish stat. And having a really high stamina, they can sometimes be, they're kind of tricky to figure out their distance. And like I just want to say is this horse, and if you're going to race this horse next season, I would try it at 8. I would
hmm
I would try and get more data because you never know. Because sometimes horses kind of are good at multiple distances. Here, let's look at what's my old horse called. Um, Darn it, I forget what my old horse is called. His dad is. I'll just have to go to my stable. Hang on a second. I haven't raced this horse in, well, it's obviously retired, this horse that I'm thinking of. Da, 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 da. How am I going to find it? Retired. And yeah, retired, and he's a male. Gender male. All right, I should be able to find him pretty quick then. Okay. Oh, actually, I know how I can find him. I can just go by winnings. There we go. Okay, poster child. So poster child um, could poster child could win at multiple distances, and eventually I settled in on 5 and 6 and 7, but he had he had a weird, especially in right turf, because your horse is in right turf. So each of the archetypes kind of has a weakness, and right turf's weakness was speed. And so speed is the hardest, because most of the studs in right turf, only two of the very first studs had, oh, maybe it was three. Yeah, maybe actually it was more than, maybe more than three. It was only the studs that had Astro. So Jupiter, Indian Wells, Galad, but they all had Astro, and so they're the only ones that had S speed. So each of the archetypes has a weakness, and like I think like left dirt soft, the weakness is stamina. They have bad staminas. Um, so all I'm saying is for your horse, the Tanalore horse, I would always try more distances in the very beginning. I wouldn't try and really zone in on 11, because there is a chance that this horse is maybe better at 8 or 7. You don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have
you
to.
just don't know. So,
Mhm.
um, and also the thing with this horse too, I would say I wouldn't actually probably continue racing this horse just based on the stats, because the very best this horse has done is 75 fleet figure, and for an S grade horse, it's not very good. It's when you look at this horse, it doesn't have enough stars really to compete anymore. It only has 6 stars. And really, I think to compete, you need to be like about 7.5 stars, because
Mhm.
we're in our 21st season, right? And so people, the smart breeders have always been trying to keep their stars. There was people that were trying to experiment a lot, but I think people have finally realized that now that you can't really sell your horses as easy, that if you have to make race horses, that you need to have stars. So I would say the horse doesn't have enough stars to keep racing, and that fleet figure of 75 is pretty low, right? This 75 as your very best fleet figure. This is more like an S minus horse. This isn't an S horse. So I wouldn't keep racing this horse. But you could try one or two races, because maybe this is more of a late blooming horse, and so this horse maybe matures into age 3. But again, remember I was talking about last video, we were talking about win place show, and you see how this
Oh yeah. Yeah.
he only has that, you right? So I looking at that kind of gives me like, why doesn't he win? He always kind of comes second, right? He has way more seconds than firsts. So that also kind of usually tells me that he's got maybe a defective stat, like maybe he has a defective heart, or something is maybe not quite perfect under the hood. So, um, sorry, man, I'm always trashing your horses. I'm
Yeah.
a mood to. I just have to be honest. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm waiting
sorry.
for that free horse from your stable.
Well, no, yeah, I'm getting pretty excited about meme coins and trading meme coins. I don't know. I've actually almost like I almost stopped racing. I didn't stop racing my horses, but I'm not quite as, I don't know. Meme coins have taken me over lately.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go back. Let's get on track. So, you see, the thing that's really weird is based on these stats, this is your best stat at 11, but your second best stat is actually at 9, which is a gap, right? So that's weird to me. That's why I keep saying I would check 8 because I don't know. It's weird. Also, when you look over here, so this is the average, but you might not have that many races. You only actually did one race at 9, but the average, so obviously the average is going to be the only that one race, but your average over here is 74, and your average over here is actually 71. So your
Yeah.
average of 11s and your average at 12 is 74. So again, it's weird numbers, right?
Yeah.
And then this down here is your fast, good, soft. Well, fast and good, we can ignore the soft. Soft doesn't really count, but so this soft is actually gonna make this go lower because you're obviously not, you're a firm horse, so you're not gonna be very good at soft. But so yeah, I would check 8 before I would. If you really like this horse, I would maybe check 8. So here's your average finish position. This is finish position. So this is another important one. So I look at pretty much every one of these charts I look at and try and think about what it means, and then collectively together. So again, your average position is, when you ran 9s, you got second. When you ran 10s, you got 5.5. So you did crappy at 10s. Then when you ran 11s, your average was 3.7, and then your average was 2.5 when you ran 12s. So again, your best average is 2.0, and maybe number 8's even better, right? So
Okay.
I would have. I think the biggest mistake with this horse is you didn't grab enough data in the first 3 races. It's much more important to grab data in your first 3 races, get different distances. And also, this race here is a bad race because look, it ran soft, right? Obviously you can't always help that, but so I would actually not even look at this race as a data point. So because you don't know anything. It ran soft. And so your horses maybe, and usually brand new horses do not do well running off preference, right? So yeah, I imagine um, like this race doesn't even count for your stats. So yeah, you would have done a lot better if the owner had raced 5, 8, and 11 and get lots of data points, right? Okay, so up here, this chart can be a little bit deceiving. It's not deceiving if you're always running the same distance. Okay, so your speed, you're going to have a higher speed if you're running sprints, right? It makes sense.
What chart are you on?
So I'm in the top right corner.
Oh, average speed over time. Okay.
Average speed over time. So you have to think about this for a second. So if you run your horse in a 4 furlong race, in a sprint, and then you run him in a 12 furlong race, then this chart will look the opposite, right? Because the first race, he'll have a higher speed because every horse can run a shorter distance faster, right? Like the time it takes you. Anyways, if you're running the same distance all the time, then your average speed, this chart will make more sense. It'll actually be good data. If you're running different distances all the time, like 8, then 10, then 9, then 8, then 12, then 8, then this line won't make any sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is your average speed over time. So unless you're running only 10s the whole time, then if you were running only 10 furlongs every race, then this would be telling you that your horse is getting faster over time. But since um, it doesn't really work. It doesn't work unless you're running a consistent distance. So At least I don't use this chart barely at all. I don't look at this chart. I actually never look at this chart. So, all right, let's jump over to average P&L. So this is the first one I look at when I'm claiming horses. These two right here, the main two I look at. So I like to see where it makes money. So it actually has been positive at three different distances, 11, 12, and 9. So that's good. And you lose all your money at 10. So never run 10. Yeah. So this horse doesn't like 10s. Don't run 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? And I really think especially newer players,
Hmm.
I am very rigid. What I don't mind my horses running every 3 days if it means I have a way higher percentage chance of winning money. I don't I don't put horses into races which they have a lower percentage chance of winning. So if I was racing this horse and the only race available was a 10,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't race. I wouldn't race it,
True.
right? Because based on the stats, over time, I lose money. So why would you keep doing it, right? Don't keep doing it. So that's pretty much how I use this chart is to see where I'm making money
Hmm.
and where I'm making the most money, and then keep doing that, right? Don't stop.
Yeah.
All right. And then down here, average finish position. This is similar to this one up here in a way. This one's so yeah, uh, yeah. I don't really use this one either. It's not that important. I guess it's the same thing as pretty much all these other ones, but it's just as a percentage. So if your
Like an
brain
average?
likes it, then no, it's the same, it's the exact same information as pretty much all these other ones, but it's
Oh.
just as a percentage, right? So you kind of look at it like, okay, my average position is uh yeah, it's similar to this. So when you're running 11s
Hmm.
and you're running 11 fast and you're in the top, you know, you are better than 86% of horses. 14% of horses are better than you at 11 fast. And then you're better. So it's just a percentile. You're in the 14th percentile at
Okay.
11F. Yeah. So it honestly, you don't have enough data. You only ran maidens
Hmm.
and yeah. So honestly, I think if you run this horse um anymore, you're just gonna lose money on it because if you can't beat maidens in 10 races, not you're probably not destined to win much money. Um, and then if you're gonna breed it, are you gonna
Uh-huh.
do any breeding?
Oh, this is not my horse. This is someone else's horse. I'm just racing on
Oh,
his
it's someone
behalf.
else's.
Yeah, yeah. But he's
Okay.
yeah, he'll probably breed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would stop racing it. So if you have a contract, I would send it back.
Mhm.
Uh,
You crazy.
what what other you want to look at any other horses? We can
Oh,
go.
but I mean, I think I'll still race this horse, and I'll let you know what's going on. But what would you say moving forward from here? You said try 8, try 5, and keep it
No,
at
not now. Okay, hang on. Let's have a look. Fine.
yeah,
Now, if we're gonna go deeper, let's have a look.
yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go deeper.
So, all right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so it was an S. The parents were S and S. That's good. S plus and an S minus and an S. Okay, so this is an absolute horsepower,
Mhm.
um, which is he's the biggest stable in right turf, and he breeds volume, but he produces good horses, but he also yeah, I don't know. So Star Gun,
Yeah.
I'm not a I'm not a huge I'm not sure. I haven't bred with this one. So this one here, Star World, is so Mundo and Serena's star. They made Sol Invictus, but before they made Sol Invictus, they made Star World. And so Star World is kind of like the poor man's Sol Invictus. And Sol Invictus on paper doesn't look super amazing. It's an S plus, but it actually produces really good horses, and it produces a lot of winners, a lot of long distance winners in right turf. But I think the next generation, this Star Gun, is a pretty good horse just by looking at it and also looking at its prodigy and whatnot. So this is not, but still, I'm not in love with the bloodline.
Yeah.
I don't know about Janie's Got a Gun. Walter White is an amazing horse, but I don't know. I haven't studied. I don't like this A. I don't like this speed for sure. So the whole bloodline matters, and which because the reason is um, you you pass old genes onto your horse. It's just a fact of life. So if you have an A here, even though this guy has an S minus, the dad, this is the dad of your horse. Um, the grandparents, one of the grandparents, the grandmother had an A speed, and so you might have an A speed. You might get this gene. Okay. There's a chance and then there's even a like maybe a minute chance you get maybe an old gene, but this gene here, this A, is the same gene from Jane to Janie's Got a Gun. It's the same speed, and so and yeah, so you might probably not, but still you might get that. So that's why the whole bloodline's important. So um, if you're going to buy a horse and spend a lot of money on it, it would be obviously better to see S S S S S S S, right? Not have any kind of bad older, older horses. All right, down here, this Captain Jupiter guy is a good horse. Only problem with him is he doesn't have any preferences. So I wouldn't breed with him myself ever, but because he only has 3.5 stars. But on paper, his stats are amazing. And then so I don't know this girl, this mare, but based on she looks like, well, she obviously didn't race very good either. She's only 11. So, it's important. The mom needs to be somewhat of a decent racer. And this mother was not. She raced 11 times, but only got a second. So, that's not a good sign. Had a huge heart, but that doesn't matter if for whatever reason this horse didn't win. And then this horse did win, so this is good sign. And he had a finish. So based on this, um, I think it was raced correctly. It probably is an 11 but I still would have tested it. I still would have tested 5. I would have tested at least one race up front before I went hardcore, because you never know. You just never know. Sometimes your horse just gets, because it's all RNG, right? You have a higher, you have an S plus in finish and an S plus in finish. So most likely this horse has an S plus, and it's an S plus here, and it's an S plus here. Yeah. So most likely this horse has an S plus finish. It might even have an SS minus finish. This is a really good stat for this horse. He got the top of both the parents, but this is where he's got S minus, S minus, S minus in the front, and so this is probably the biggest problem with this horse is he has a real stomper finish, but he's always too far back to come back and win it at the end. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
he's yeah, you can't just have one good stat and then expect to just, catch up on the final stretch. If you're super far back, you're super far back. And this is what I would guess is his problem. He probably doesn't have a very good stamina. And so he's always trying to catch up at the end. So based on that, then this horse is probably, how many 12s did you run? 74 at 12, 74 at 12. Yeah, this horse is actually, its best distance is probably 12. Because if it's always behind, it needs as much distance, it needs as much time as possible to catch up. So maybe his best distance is 12, 11 and 12 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to test eight anymore.
Okay.
uh, yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else you really need. It's better if maybe if we look at a few other horses.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Show me
so
another.
do you
Yeah,
have,
yeah. I got time.
just give me, yeah, tell me another horse in your stable that you want to look at.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't have another one. Oh, I mean,
What,
actually, well,
what, yeah, you
I'm
gotta have
borrowing.
something.
I'm borrowing another horse. I
What
mean, I have.
about,
Huh?
well, we can look at, why don't we look at, what about your other one, the Rustoff guy? You
Oh,
want to look at him?
I finally retired him. But yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
Cause
let's let's have a look at him. But let's have a look at him. So how do you spell it?
ROSTOV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, no, ROS.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, no, good. You're good. Yeah, there you go.
And then what? And then what?
Dash on.
Dash?
Yeah, dash on.
Okay, got it. All right. I won't look at the horse first. I'll just look at the stats. We'll look at the stats. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Age 4, S minus. So decent up top, 7.5. So not bad. Um, so the average fleet figure was 70, which is, like I said before, we've looked at it before, which is kind of average for S minus. If it was closer to 75, you would be really stoked, right? 75 would be a really good for an S minus. 32,000, but your P&L was -7, but you did farm some crown. The horse ended up being -$9. So all those races and it was -9. Sorry, buddy. No problem. No problem. All right, let's have a look. So, and is this dirt? Okay, so dirt. Okay, so for the turf horses, so I don't. The turf and dirt kind of give different stats. So you kind of have to lower your expectations for what the stats look like on paper. So you see on here, you don't see any yellow boxes. On a really good dirt horse, you will. But this, don't get discouraged if you have a good horse in dirt, but they don't like so because I don't know, just for some reason, dirt's stats aren't as good. They don't quite get the same numbers as turf horses, but it doesn't mean they're not good horses. It's just their numbers are lower. Okay, but you remember these horses are based on dirt versus dirt horses. They're not, and then the turf horses are turf versus turf horses. But if you were to race them on like an equal surface, the dirt horses will beat the turf horses. Okay, the dirt horses started the game a lot stronger, a lot better genes, way higher subgrades. So that's why like all the big money is in right dirt, because the best horses started in right dirt, and the biggest stables with the most money had all the right dirt horses, and so they've bred them, they've spent the money, and they've made sure that they keep making better and better horses. So anyways, that's a long way of saying don't be discouraged when you don't see like the yellow boxes on here. Okay, so based on here, okay, so this is a firm horse. You got a softy race and a yielding race. You got 2 stars, so the yielding shouldn't matter too much. So, it's interesting. Based on this, you kind of think that 9 is the best, but maybe 10 is the best. So then let's go down and look here. But then when you look at it, you made the most money at 7 and 8. Interesting. So yeah. Oh, did you run this in a? Oh, you did run allowances, claimers,
Yeah,
handicap. Oh,
I'll try
handicap.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, never do that one. Not for an S minus. Restricted, claiming. Okay, so you did a lot of allowances. So the thing with allowances, it really kind of, I think it throws the stats off. So that's why your stats are really hard to get any good information out of, because you ran every type of race there is, right? And so a lot of these, like the fleet figure stat is, I've told you before, like you'll get a higher fleet figure for the same distance when you run it a claimer versus a restricted stakes, right? You notice that?
Yeah.
And when you run, sometimes like you get a really high fleet figure, and it was a excuse me, it was a yielding race. Or the highest ones you'll get is if you run a yielding claimer, you'll get a super high fleet figure. Okay, so the fleet figures, again, they're more based on comparing, um, 8 yielding versus other 8 yieldings, right? Like you got to compare the actual race and the actual distance and the actual condition. So it's you ran a lot of different types of races, so all your stats are going to be kind of not super helpful. Um, but you can get some information out of it. So I think I would probably, take this one into consideration the most, the fact that you won money at 7 and 8. But the thing is, you won money at 7 and 8, but I'm looking at your races, you didn't run 7 and 8 very often. And I think that was probably a mistake. And you even won at a 7, and then you won at an 8. You got a second at an 8, and then for whatever reason, you ran it at a 10, which is fine. You still got a first, and I think maybe this fleet figure tricked you, and you're like, oh, this fleet figure went up. He must be a 10. And then you kept racing him at 10 and 9 and 11. When your fleet figure, like I said, your fleet, and also when you first start off, like a horse first starts off, their fleet figure is pretty low. It almost is always low. And so you kind of got to ignore it for the first part of the season. I always go based on results more than anything. And I would have kept racing him at 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. And based on this, yeah, I think
I
when
dropped the
we look
ball.
at this horse, you did drop the ball. You raced him wrong. You did for sure. I would have kept racing him at 7, 8. It's good that you did do 10. And I don't think, I think it's good that you kind of go back and forth and test. But based on just pure money, I would probably, because you ended up losing money in the end at 9 and 10, right? And yeah, for sure. And then also, so down here, so you don't have much data. Like you ran 8 twice, and you got a first and a second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I
based on
started looking at that too
these
in
are,
the end, and I was like, "Oh wait,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
hell?"
And look, yeah, like all your stats are like saying, "Help me, my o- my owner won't race me at the right distance. What is my
I,
owner's problem?
why is he doing
What
this
is
to
my
me?
why is my owner doing this to me?" So yeah, see, look, 7, 8, right in the middle, right in the middle. This horse should have been running. It would have dude, you would have made so much more money. You would have made so much more money. Look at this horse. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me look at this. Hang on a second. Okay. Let me
Oh,
see
that's
this.
good.
You fucked it up so bad. Okay. And the stats would have told you. The stats told you this. Okay, so okay, so your start fucked you a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Sorry for swearing.
No, you're good. You're
No,
good.
so but this speed
Mm-hmm.
is good. This is below grade. This is above grade. But these two together definitely. Um, I think I think you would have had a lot of races where you probably would have got a lot of seconds at 7 and 8. But I think this horse would have done it way better. You would have been way more in profit, and yeah, you would have loved this horse a lot more. Let me just see if it has any defective stats. So what is it? It's
Mm-hmm.
A plus, S S, A
Oh,
plus,
it is. I
S
remember
minus,
you
S
told me
minus.
his father.
Okay, so okay, so the finish is defective. The
Mm-hmm.
finish was defective, and then SS. So you had the top of both. You had good. Yeah, the father was defective from here. These S
Mm-hmm.
pluses, but when you got the stamina from your father, you did get the best possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You didn't get the S minus. You still got the S. So your grandfather was had a better stamina, but at least you didn't get downgraded again. But you
Mm-hmm.
did get the top. You did get, well, I guess there's more speed there. But anyways, you got good speed. Um, but yeah, so your start and your finish were defective. Both of them were
Mm-hmm.
were not that great. And then you got S minus, and so you got middle of heart, and you did get top temper, so that's
Mm-hmm.
good. But your temper was defective again. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
say, but you ended up getting actually decent stats, like not horrible, and you ran them at the wrong distance. So
I have
let's
I
look at
have a
your
question while you're doing
yeah
that. So I know
yeah
you told me you would never breed with the same pair again, but when you had said that I already had done it. So
yeah
he has a brother, and I mean he's not of age yet, but he will be next season. And he came
yeah
out the same stars as his brother here,
yeah
but
yeah.
his grade is an S instead of an S minus.
Oh
So what does that
well,
mean?
it means, yeah. Well, it's pretty
Yeah.
tough. Uh,
Higher
I
grade
would
but same
ra-
stars.
it, yeah, I would probably in that situation.
Hmm.
I would for a racing situation, I would probably say I would like the S minus more
Yeah.
because it's hard. You still
Hmm.
have to try. You don't know. It's so much RNG. What if
Yeah.
that horse just got a lot of awesome up rolls,
Hmm.
right? You never know. Most likely it didn't.
Hmm.
Most likely, well, hang on. Let me look at what he should have been. Okay, so S plus, S minus. So he's supposed to be an S. S supposed to be an S minus. Okay. S minus, S. Okay. And then S plus, A minus. Oh my God. Oh my God. A minus. What the hell? So S minus, A plus. Oh my God. He has a horrible heart. And then A plus. Oh my goodness. Okay. So
Damn, it hurt,
so
huh?
next, yeah, sorry. 6, 3. Okay, so he's supposed to be an upgraded S minus. So he's supposed to be a +3 S minus. So I think Rostov got the
Hmm.
best kind of possible situation.
Hmm.
Um, well, you see, like Rostov is actually an even, that this S and this A plus even out to S minuses and same. So he's actually across the board, he's actually an even S minus.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
yeah. And so he should have been a little higher, maybe one of these could have been an S minus.
Hmm.
He's like I said, he should have been a little bit higher. So the brother up rolling to an S is fine, but I would say especially in right dirt firm, I
Mm-hmm.
would bet that he won't be a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I bet because it's very competitive. Right dirt firm is the most
Oh
competitive
yeah.
there is.
Yeah.
So by far, it's super competitive. So most likely based on the fact that using my yeah, he's got some defective genes, I think, in the parents. And so yeah, but you can always try. I would probably it cost you what, 800 baht to make the pair, did you breed it in house or out of house?
Oh no, it was out of house. Yeah,
Oh, so it
this
cost
was
cost you
before.
four.
It
Yeah, it
cost me
cost you four.
three.
Cost you three.
Yeah, I
So
contacted the guy.
so you might be able. Yeah, it depends on how like if you
Yeah,
really want to try it. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe claimers. Maybe don't race him. Is he a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Maybe don't race him until age 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm gonna start doing that with a lot of my horses. Is I'm not gonna race them at age 2 anymore. Um, and I just I think it's a cost savings,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can still just put them in a claimer at age, but see, most of my horses, like, I don't know what percentage of my stable, but I think probably like 75% of my stable is in house. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot cheaper for me to be able to to be able to race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I only went, I bred 48 times, and I think maybe only 10 of them were outside this time. So it's about a quarter or even less. So did I win a race? I haven't been looking. Oh, Crazy 88. It's my best horse right now. Uh-oh, fourth. Shit. So you wanna have a quick look at Youngbloods? He's retired.
Oh yeah.
We jinxed him. We jinxed him. So I got a bit of a theory. I got a bit of a theory with this guy.
Mm.
So he has a defective heart,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And so my theory, I don't know, I kind of have a theory because he literally dropped off a cliff, right? And I don't know, maybe my theory is completely wrong,
I mean, it's
but
incredible. What is it called? Stats. What is it? Six losses.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, or no, yeah, 6 missed podiums. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
his stats are pretty insane for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
the last three of them are his last 3 races, right?
No.
Oh no, he got, well, this doesn't count. It's only 4 people were in it, and he
Mm-hmm.
sucked. He's ran another 64, so he was done.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, so he's got a defective heart, but he has a stomper of a stamina.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, so so that's why he was really good at 7 and 8. Because he had a really good speed, really good stamina. But he might have been able to race longer distances, maybe. Yeah, and he got third in that big race.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at 6, but after that race, he just died. So, oh well.
And you
Rest in
checked
peace,
him.
my.
I know that's what I
What's
said with
that?
my horse. But did you check him up on Gap Data also or no?
Oh yeah. Oh, lots. I always looked at him. I was always checking him. So I'll use gap data the whole season on a horse. I'll keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. What, young bloods? Maybe it's
Yeah.
young bloods. Yeah.
Come on,
Okay, there it is.
you know what you named it.
I I didn't know. I didn't name it. Remember, I
I know, I
claimed
know, I
it.
know, I know. Yes, you
Yeah,
claimed it. That's right for 10,000, I think,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So left turf soft. And I'm not an expert in left turf, that's for sure, right?
Mhm.
But you see, look at his stats down here. Made money at 7. 7 was his best distance by far. You see here, his best average is 7
Mhm.
again. You see here, his best average finish position is 7. So, yeah, but I'm always checking for sure. Got faster as he got older, and I was always like, when you look at the distances, I was very consistent. Where's the distance? Oh, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a few times where I tried to run, or was this me? Oh no, this is me here. So you see, once I got him, he
Mm-hmm.
only ran 7s and 8s. This is that race that I had to put him in to the free roll. But other than this, he only ran, once I had him, 7 and 8, 7 and 8, 7 and 8s. And that's how you maximize your money, right? So P&L 48K, most of that, yeah. And that's
So 38,
nowadays that's
right?
pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, so about 38 of it's mine. And then he
That's
also
good.
farmed Crown. And so he ended up making $600. So yeah, this
Nice.
horse really helped. And so on day one of the new season, I'll be spending all day for at least the first 2, 3 days of the season looking in claimers, looking for horses. Because I think that's your best way to make money in this game now. For us, guys that have smaller, don't want to spend a lot of money. And I don't know, I haven't had much luck in breeding at the top lately. Um, I just I'm chasing the guys that have all the S pluses and that have had the S plus horses for many seasons. I'm just now getting S plus horses for babies. And so I'm always just chasing the older stables. And so yeah, I haven't had any love when it comes to the majors in right turf. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so so I have to like just try and make my money at S minus. That's what I'm trying to do. It's
Mm.
fun. It's still fun. This horse was amazing to watch, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's always winning. And you know what? This horse got a lot of canceled races because I understand the other stables stopped registering. They were just like, I don't want to go against that horse. It wins every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, so anyways. Yeah. So the rest of gap data, honestly, I think any person can just kind of, most of it is just stats on if you look at I used to look at I used to have stud listings was used to be pretty useful back in the day when you were, but I think they changed it. Let me see. I don't know. It seems to be loading. Okay. They seem to, okay, maybe it's back to normal. So you can use this screen. This is the only other screen that I used to use a lot. And yeah, they have changed it a bit. So say you're looking for um, something really special, right? And you don't want to go through the barn and search and search and search. But say you have maybe you have an S horse. Ugh, don't upgrade every time, you dumb stupid thing. Say you have an S horse. Let's go
What section is this?
right. It was under stud listings.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think it's stud listings, or was it stud stats? Hang on. I don't know. It's very slow. Every time I change one thing, it wants to refresh, which is really
Yeah,
annoying.
it's
Why not?
stud listings.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that. That's really annoying. Um, okay, so this only matches. Okay, so in the very beginning, do you understand what only matches means? Do you understand what that is?
No.
Okay, so I'll show you. All right, so we will go to, which is a good horse for this. We can go to Dirty Harry. Um, Dirty Harry.
No, you know a lot of
Yeah.
these horses.
Oh wow, I've been doing it a lot. Okay, so that's when it says only matches, it's referring to Gen Zero horses. Okay, and so when you look at this guy's bloodline, he only has PFPs, right? And so there was 5 different things that a PFP could match. So there was 2 sets. There was the studs and there was the mares. And so the studs came out first. And then if you had a stud, I think you got airdropped one of the mares. and then you maybe there was maybe you could also mint them. I don't know how it worked exactly. I wasn't around then, but there was 5 different stats which could match up. So the stats are background color. So this one here had a match. So that's a match. Both of them have the exact same background color. Okay, ignore the little hearts, but they both have pink backgrounds. They both have the same skin color. That's a match. Okay, and then the other matches are head. So they don't have a match there. I think eyes is a match, but I don't know if that's a match for that. I don't think that's a match. But then also, and then clothes. That was the 4 things. I think that's the 5 things. There was 5 different things. We can look at another one.
Not their mouth.
Maybe their mouth might be one of them, but I'm not sure. I think it was eyes, skin, hat,
Clothing and
clothes,
background.
background. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's the 5. I think pretty sure that's the 5. Here, let's look at left or
You would think it would be
Lord.
6, right? Because of the
The
6 stats or the
Yeah, but no, it was for something else. So what
okay.
happened was, so let's look at Lord Strange. Lord Strange is a 4 match. There is 5 matches, but they're further down. Oh, actually, we can look at like Churro and stuff too. So Bloodline. Okay, so here's a good one. Here's a really good one. Okay,
Oh
so
wow.
these guys, this is a 4 match. So based on when you got a 4 match, you would get really good stats. And what would happen is you would get really good stats. So the Gen Zeros have different stats than all the rest of the horses. We'll go over that next. So background, hat, eyes, skin color. The only thing that doesn't match is the shirts. This is really good. 4 out of 5. If you get 3 out of 5, that was considered really good. If you get 4, that's really, really good. And then there is 5s, but and obviously that's even better. But there's not that many 5s, so it doesn't matter. And so what happens is then you would also get these stats up here. So the best you could have up top is 3 3 3 2 3 3. So the best you can have is you can't have all 3s. I don't think you can have all 3s. I think you have to have at least 1 2. But still, this horse is like a perfect horse, Lord Strange. It's the strongest Gen 0 A plus LDS. He also has 9 perfect
Hmm.
stars, right? So
Oh yeah.
based on based on this, so these 2 guys were super matched up. And based on these, so when they made their very first horse, when they made Lord Strange, this pairing, that is why they got 9 stars here. That's why they got 17 out of 18 up here. Okay, and so that's what matches means. So when they say only matches, that means essentially you want the person that's picking. When you're looking for this stud, you're looking for a high match horse, but only the Gen Zeros had matches. So you maybe just leave this off for now because you're not generally breeding with the Gen Zeros as much anymore. You can, but anyways, so let's keep going with so we're going to look for a stud in right turf, and we want, but we want an S plus in heart. Okay. Say we have a mare that has a weaker heart and we're trying to fix that heart. So we want something that looks like this. And then you can pick how many stars, the minimum it has. So you can say, oh, I want minimum 2.5, minimum 2.5, minimum
Oh.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Did it reset it? Maybe it didn't. I don't know. It's kind of buggy. I don't know. They really changed that screen. It used to be a lot better. I'm not a big fan of the new version. Um, and then down below, it's supposed to give you. Okay, let's change this back to S. Okay, so I guess there is no studs with an S plus. There is
Oh.
this guy who is named Static. and he has a really good speed and a really good stamina. I don't know.
Abdominal snowman farmer.
Honestly, I don't use this anymore
Mm.
because, um, yeah, I just find I don't know. I'm not really looking to match up these kind of stats anymore. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
Mm.
for gap data, I think Power Buy is. I use it every day. I use it even now. Every day I use Power Buy, and especially when I'm looking at horses and claimers. Um, yeah, So if there was a horse and claimers, and you were like, oh, I want to look at Sacred Dance, and you're like, okay, Sacred Dance, okay, and you want to quickly, like, you have 2 minutes before the claiming window is closing, and you're like, oh, should I put a claim in? So right away you just come up here and go, oh, Sacred Dance, he's only 3, and he's made 24K. Okay, done. I'm gonna put a claim in on it, right? Like, that's you can essentially, and that's what I essentially do all the time is I come and look to see if the horse has made money, right? I picked up this horse in restricted stakes, and I figured, you know what? I don't want to put him back in claimers. And I just ran him in allowance races, and he made me lots of money. So I picked this guy up, I think mid-season or something. I tried to put him in stakes, but it failed. And then I
Yeah.
put him back in allowances, and he kept on making me money. So this is, I think, one of
Oh wow.
Tombstone's. Yeah. So I picked him up at the very beginning of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he had like maybe 14 when I picked him up. So he's only made me 10, but this is P&L. This is your profit. So he's made me 10 profit. And I think I picked him up for 2.5. So, but yeah, no, I used it
2.5
all the,
derby. 2500
yeah,
derby.
no, maybe 1.2. No, I think it was 2.5.
Oh, okay, okay.
If I was to look at it, I don't think I put him back in claimers ever again. I'll probably put him in, yeah, 2.5. So at the very beginning of season, this was one of the horses I claimed. He also ran an 84 that race. So I was really happy when I got to claim him. And I think I was the only one that put a claim. Maybe there was someone else. Let's have a look. So I claimed him. Where is it? Yeah, where is it? There it is here. Horse claim successful, and there's no refunds. So no one else, just me. I was the only one that claimed him, and yeah, he ended up making me another 10K. So, win-win. And I still own him. He might even have breeding potential. He's an 8.5 stars. I don't know left or oh no, wait, let me have a look. Yeah, I think he actually has maybe a little bit of breeding potential. Yeah, he does. He has breeding potential. So he has no one of ones left. And he doesn't have whatchamacallit, Shawnee Bear. So in left dirt, there's two awesome S minus Gen Zeros. The two of them were Shawnee Bear and Monaco Heart Bay. This guy would always price his a lot higher, so he didn't get much traffic, and everyone bred Shawnee Bear. So this actual horse, I actually might get one or two breeds out of him, like from outside. Maybe not, but he does have a little bit of breeding potential too. So win-win.
Damn, I need to start claiming now.
Yeah, well, we'll do a stream. I'll bring you along. You
What? So
can we
a
can do
part
it on
two,
the
a part
yeah.
two,
Well,
and
we'll
you're gonna help me claim a horse.
yeah, I'll help you claim horses. Sure, why not? But yeah, we gotta do it on the Monday. You gotta do it on the very beginning of the season to get the most value.
Okay, so
So
we'll do it on the Monday of the next season. So it's
my it's my Tuesday, your my
Monday.
Tuesday morning, your Monday night would be the best
Okay, so what would
if
that be
you
like? The second. This like December
No, no,
2nd,
no,
and
no,
that would
no,
be.
no, 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 no. New season's almost on us, man.
Oh, really? When is
No,
that?
no, no.
25th?
It's like next Monday. No, it's next Monday. We're at the end of the season, aren't we? Look, season ends in 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you got to get your calendar straight. Yeah, this season's over, yo.
Okay, okay, okay.
We so yeah. So my Tuesday. So the season ends at 10 p.m. Monday for me, but
Mhm.
the next morning will be my Tuesday morning, and then that will be. So I guess the season ends for you in the morning on the Mondays, and it ends in the evenings on the Mondays for me. But yeah, yeah, I can kind of give you some times. I can send you a DM on Twitter, and we can figure it out. Yeah, you can come along, and I can show you.
Oh,
Could
just
show you, no problem.
before we get all
Hmm.
into that, is there anything else? So I can close out the video. Is there any other
No,
information on the gap data?
I
Uh,
don't think so. I, Obviously, your data will be a lot better if you kind of have a bit of a plan and you use it correctly. Again, you see me running with Sacred Dance.
mhm,
I figured out that Sacred Dance makes money at 11, right?
mhm,
And so what? Guess what? Look, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. So I didn't, why would I race him at 10 or 12 if I know
mhm.
he's going to win me the most money at 11?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important for new people is you want to claim horses cheap, or claim good horses cheap, and then run them correctly.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get maximum. And I'm making, and I run a lot of horses, and I run a lot of horses way too long because I'm stubborn and I really like to test, 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 and because a lot of them are my
Mhm.
horses. But I going forward, I'm going to be way more, because if you look at my stats, and stats are public, so I don't care showing you. So you see, I'm positive 100, but next season I'm going to be positive 200 for the season because I'm going to race really selectively next season, and I'm going to breed less and race more selective, and I'm going to get this up to like 200. That's my goal.
For
That's
the
the
next season?
plan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to be, so I'm positive. I don't think I'll have track earnings next year,
Mhm.
next season, but so 404 minus 324. So I'm still positive. I'm positive 80, but I'll be a lot more positive because I'm gonna be a lot more selective. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna race a lot of my 2-year-olds,
Mhm.
and I can maybe I'll loan some out. We'll see, but I don't know. I don't know if the way I see it is, if I'm going to loan out a horse, I don't know. I think these owners, they loan out horses they know that aren't that good, right? Like, why would they? It doesn't make sense for them to loan out a good horse,
I mean, they
unless,
just don't have enough time, and they'd rather have someone else run the data
yeah, I
and
guess.
make some money off on the side from them. Uh,
Yeah,
it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, I guess so. Like kind of like scholars, like Axie
Yeah, yeah,
scholars.
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If they're actually if they're taking a percentage, maybe I get it for sure.
Mm-hmm. A
Yeah,
small
yeah, I
percentage, but
guess so.
even then,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And if they're breeding only in-house, then
mm-hmm.
maybe yeah, it makes sense. But if they, it wouldn't really make sense if the horse was an external breed, but whatever. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. All right, let
All
me
right, well, let's
close this out here. Yeah.
go for it.
Um.
Close it.
So, yeah, this concludes our session, and thank you so much again, Kelly, uh, for the giving your time, and it was definitely an early morning for me, and I think it's late for you, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not too late. It's not too bad.
Yeah, but thank you again, and then I will see you again for the next session of, I guess, Claimer Part 2.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. All right. I'll see you then. Take care.
Yeah, you as well, man.